certainly is one of those bigger, bulkier tanks that requires a lot of focus fire to make sure he's taken care of properly here, not just in terms of going down, but also just mitigating the value that he can get in the fight there. So now SCR have their turn, their pick of the litter, as it were. And it'd be interesting to see how they're going to go with this ban because obviously, that first map they come away pretty dominant here. But do they go outright for a Sojourn ban, even if they maybe want it themselves, right? Do they see Caleb as that much of a threat, or do they potentially try to counter comp some other way? But instead, it's a Sombra ban here. I don't know what
Sure.
to make of that.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you because like it's not like we saw but like I guess we didn't see a Tracer, we didn't see a Genji. If we're worried about like back hotline harassment from the Ascendants, sure. I'll be honest, I got nothing. This just feels like a random targeted pick that maybe they're just hoping will kind of come out. It's not like Ascendance was afraid of anything. So I mean, I guess if you're just like, what are we not good against, and what do we think we're gonna struggle with, that's your answer. Like, okay, sure. You don't have anything you're afraid of, so let's just get rid of something you feel like you might be weak against. Why not? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as we're looking at the selected heroes here, I mean, Bonkerl has highlighted the love of the Wrecking Ball here, so it could be, maybe a nod to that. Maybe wanted to play that Wrecking Ball style and not having to worry about the hacks coming through and removing the Wrecking Ball's utility from play here, just making it that much easier for the ball to get in and out as they please. But as we get a actual look here, like this map, honestly, I feel like it's underrated, and I feel like I really wish we could go back to like when every map was getting a day and night mode, because I'd love to see this map at nighttime. I feel like
I'd say yeah. At this time, this would go fire on it on nighttime.
Okay.
Sentence showing us kind of a little bit closer to what I expected without the Mauga on board. Just similar kind of rush comp. Lucio Kiri seems fine. Smile anyways. I feel like I've just taken I feel like I've taken a blast into the like early like Moth meta because we're seeing Zen Mercy again. Professor Catboy does have a very good Widow. I do remember seeing them play a ton of hit scans, so this double hit scan look is actually like kind of very good. And kind of why I would have expected them to come here. I do really like this.
Yeah, but as we just saw from the overhead look there, everybody just left, like, in a position you normally see Widow, where the Widow is all by their lonesome. It was instead Caleb on the Freya who just gets run down. So now the bot's moving, and nobody on the side of Smile anyways is anywhere close to helping. I'm pretty sure there's a versus Zen somewhere flanking as Professor Catboy is hoping for the 1 in a million headshot here, but Marlon shuts that chance down.
Yeah, again, this is Smile anyway is playing a very separated comp, with the exception being this Zen, like, just kind of, Zen's kind of the low indicator here. Like, everybody else has movement, everybody else has escapes, everybody else is kind of playing independently, and very just kind of a sitting duck. So, Caleb now over onto the Tracer off that Freya. I do think this is kind of a similar point, so we'll have to see how Barry really survives this, because they might just be hiding most of this game.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that works out here, but DB trying to slam in here, looking for the third kill on supports here, but actually just going to have to respect it here from HP and Discord. It's going to send this Tracer packing.
I mean, the cart continues to move. Bots already made it past the first checkpoint, already to 100 for the Ascendants. 2 more picks come in, and I just kind of feel like we're looking at a completion here, Last. I feel like this is nearing that time already. This might actually be one of the fastest completions on push we've had in CGL, if there's no stop.
Yeah, like I don't understand what's happening. Like it's just such an odd disconnect from Smile anyways here, because we can rip the band-aid off. Let's call it like we see it. Like, there's just active gameplay sabotage occurring from Smile anyways, and I'm not fully sure why here. Now that they're trying to engage on the point, maybe they can start to turn things around a little bit, but overall, they've dug themselves in such a deficit for this map, and now he's forcing the turn just to live a Tracer.
I mean, maybe smile anyway. Just maybe this is personal. Maybe there's something going on we don't know behind the scenes. But I mean, it looks like they get control back from that. So a fight win is there. It does show you that smile anyways. Like they can do this. Like that's I think the really interesting thing. It shows you that like when crunch time is there, they can do this. They stopped the whole push, so they can win. It's almost as if they just kind of straight up don't want to. Catboy's gonna pop the sights just to kind of get an idea, but I mean, now it's a long way to go for Smile anyways, and buried again, just sitting duck.
Yeah, and so now you are seeing Smile anyways try to get them. They got the spot incredibly close back to center. Professor Catboy going to eventually be hunted down by the rest of the squad here. BP able to trade it out 1-for-1 with the hit scans now missing it from the fight, however. Now trying to trace down this Tracer here in Caleb here. Going to finally be able to get, I was going to say get the Tracer, finally actually able to do it. Caleb didn't actually manage to pick up the health back in time there. So SCR now can go back to the other side of the map where meanwhile is working back.
Yeah, just kind of slowly getting through and trying to disrupt doing their job, but I mean, Bot's still now firmly into the side of the Ascendants. Monk are going to go ahead and try to push their way through this. Ambitious Annihilation, not sure it was needed, but I guess when you know you basically already kind of have a good position in your way, you're not mad about it.
Popeyes put garlic palm tenders, cheesy bites, and marinara sauce in a scary good Freddy Fazbear box. Dig in
before it's too late.
And see Five Nights at Freddy's 2, only in theaters. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
This is a nightmare.
Someone call for a nightmare? Hang on. That's your nightmare? Some roof damage? I'm a professional. I deal with real nightmares. You just need to sing the State Farm jingle.
State Farm jingle?
Do it!
Good neighbor, State Farm is there! State Farm can help with your claim. We're here when you need us.
Great. Can you get rid of it?
Ooh, who we getting rid of? Wait.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Very, very odd considering it is losing go home here, so I mean, Ascendants will be going on again. Match point, it's lose and go home here. So, I mean, Ascendants, considering they had to fight back from all the way from their first loss, I mean, this is a good morale boost for them. I think they're very happy to be in this situation. They're fighting their way through. They're getting a W. And, I mean, like you kind of said, they are doing everything that they need to be doing right now.
Yeah, so we will, be seeing how that feels for SCR here, but we will be putting this match on ice for the moment at the very least. Going to throw it to a quick little break while we get everything set up and just sort of process what's happened so far. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Around for so long, so many years. Always at the top somewhat. Was? He's actually like
The
it's a
big
thing
issue
in
I
his
see
it's
for
a thing
Bait
in his
at
head.
this
No,
juncture
it's a
is
thing. It's a thing in his
You
head.
don't have any loss bonus going forward, right? You towards the bottom of the barrel.
The choke, the art of the
if
choke.
You lose this,
You should write a
next
book.
round
I would
is only
buy
gonna
it.
come in with 1900, and you're against 12.
So what I'm hearing is that they have to go on a bit of a run here.
Yes. It's going to need to be multiple
man.
rounds right now, and sure, obviously with the scoreline, so that's obvious, but just in the sense of to give themselves any opportunities with the weapons in hand, it'll get away from them quick.
Money or trophy? I think he would pick trophy over. Oh, actually. Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I
this
do
is
think so, Loki. I don't
Blade's
know.
taking a timeout off the back of their timeout.
I figured.
So an extra 30
Without a
seconds.
major, he would
I
never
love it
feel
from Blade.
fulfilled,
He's
maybe.
always
I don't
very
know.
direct. Alexi, it's important.
A lot of people are like
Listen,
this.
right, we've heard from him before. I beg you, right? So
I beg.
Blade wants to be
It's that
direct.
you commit your whole life to and you never
If he's got a point,
succeed
he
in
needs
it,
to
you
get
know?
it across.
Always so curious to be able to hear, you know, a full Blade timeout. You get little bits, don't you? But you never get to hear the full shebang.
Yeah, why does he keep looking at the cam?
with him? So you can ask.
He'll be clutching his strap.
But Nico's still in this major.
Never leaves his hands. As okay, well, attack timeouts taken back to
Stage
back.
3 is going to be
Adjustments on
cinema.
adjustments.
Sheesh.
Execute now. Kenzizor, oh, missed window. Is that intentional to keep players
Intentional.
I think it might be.
Navi one step ahead. Here we go. We keep him busy in middle looking while we push A. Holy. Nice bit double. Much needed. Nice bit triple. What the spray? 3v2, 3v2. Come on. Nice. Why is everyone else trolling? Yeah. Ho ho ho. Yeah, you don't want none of this. Oh my god.
What the fuck?
That was his chance. It would have removed Bit, would have made it a 1v1.
2v1.
Would have changed the whole dynamic, but no. One missed opportunity, and Bit does not squander his, leaping into the site. The path
What
is
happened to
so
clutching? What happened to clutching?
Ignores the initial spray, doesn't focus on that one frag, and instead finds
9-10 will
all
win
three
this.
to break through. You talked about how important this was for conversion for Bait. I mean, we're going to see just how punished they are as they concede
Liquid
the
1.
12.
Yeah, whatever they have right now, which is about
Wow.
$300 per player plus 1900.
Liquid is now, if you're a Liquid fan, you can celebrate heavy today. Liquid is now 1 and 2 at the stage 2 major. They only have to win 2 more elimination BO3s.
16, the bottom end's 11, so it's not like anybody's
W.
a slouch.
Alexi, listen, I beg you. You have to miss the window smoke. I'm telling you.
It could very well be, right? This is the thing. I don't like, so we have to run with it.
We have to.
Yeah.
Like, there is a world where that was the call. It did lead to these fights for Bit.
Wow.
And that late arrival there of MPL goes down the last couple of bullets of the mag. That is impressive. And there's
4
a reason, you know,
match
Gensizor brings
points.
up Bit in the pre-game statements.
Both
He admires this
Navi
player.
and both
They've got an
FaZe
MP9, so firepower
have stamped
as
in their
opposed to
ticket for
utility.
stage 3. If they win this. Nice, Emma.
Okay, that's kind of it,
Beautiful.
isn't it?
I was
Yeah, pack
scared
this one
of
up.
some choke.
Navi,
We all
that
saw
stage
stage 1
awaits.
FaZe. I was scared that we're gonna have no FaZe, no Navi.
Stage 3 team playing in stage 2.
But
That's
stage
how
2
they
so
feel.
far,
That's how they've been categorized, and
simple
they've
for the
kind of proven
Titans.
it with this comfortable 3-0 run. People talk about best of ones and being unpredictable, not for Na'Vi. They sailed through those.
And I
and
do
they're in the best
prefer
of 3,
Navi
keeping
going
it efficient.
3-0, or sorry, like participating in stage
Just a
2,
two-map
potentially
series.
getting eliminated. If you get eliminated in stage 2, you're not ready for to win the major.
Burst from the long range MP9,
But stage 2, if you
finds
play in
Alexi.
it,
Kenzizor, the last
you
piece
warm
to
up.
fall over, and Na'Vi
You
have
get
done
comfortable with the setups, with how the things go at this event, in this country. Boys, we are ready for stage 3. 3-0. Had some warm-up games. Let's go, bro. Because the people that we will be facing in stage 3, it's their first week in Budapest. We are ready, we will be acclimated. We know what's good at the hotel for breakfast. Lock in, bro.
Sure, this year has not been the best Counter-Strike, but we saw what they did in Copenhagen.
Navi 3-0.
Crisp in their play, mind you. You know, it's hard to say anything less than stellar about how they've been looking, but it's just a shame because Smile anyways just seems to, you know, they just seem to not really be in it. It's their choices are very disconjointed. It seems like the decisions are just kind of not quite there. A lot of text and chat too last, so you know, maybe we're just playing the mental games for the future. But we do have map 3 coming up, but I mean, aside from map 3 and possibly our last map, well, there's a lot of Overwatch that they can go on.
Oh yeah, the Overwatch left Overwatch right. It's Overwatch any and everywhere here. But I think we actually we just have tons of different things going on. But looking at this series here, we have Kings Row officially selected as our next map up here. Kings Row, it's standard, it's classic. But now the question is just sort of what we're going to see on Kings Row, because so far these teams, SCR definitely been predictable with sort of the ball comps that they want to run. Smile anyways, it could truly be any and everything.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to be able to really see much of anything. The one thing I will say is that out of SCR Ascendants, we are getting several different Brawl looks. So whatever the bans end up being, I can assume safely we're probably going to see probably a similar look. We saw the Malgun map 1, we saw Ramattra in map 2, paired with a little bit of a flanker and a mid-range hit scan. There's definitely a bit of flex, but here's where I could see them maybe getting to something this is maybe where we see the Zarya, who's gotten a little bit of a nerf stick to it. But Smile anyways, probably just gonna look. History has just kind of shown they're probably just gonna throw it at another tank. Is my guess, because 2 out of 3, it's probably just gonna be the Ramattra maybe. Maybe there's maybe they take a random shot in the dark at Junker Queen or Zarya or something, just to try to maybe kind of shut that down, or Orisa. But look, history has shown they're 2 for 2. They're probably going to make it 3 for 3 here.
Exactly, more than likely here, but of course we just have to wait and see what that plan ends up being. Like you said, it'd be the best way to inhibit the Brawl is taking the Ramattra out of the mix here. Unless you wanted to target some speedy support like Lucio.
Okay.
But no, it's actually going to be a Tracer swap up here. I mean, technically speaking, the Tracer was running wild on the backline last game, so...
Yeah, I think if you're going to try to do something, at least maybe stem the bleeding, getting rid of Tracer does seem really good. Ascendants will get a chance to respond here, and again, I'm not sure what they're afraid of at this point. Maybe you just get rid of Ball, because that's kind of been the one thing that's been problematic. Fifi showed us a Doomfist, but that was very, very easily dealt with. So I could actually see Wrecking Ball just getting straight taken out, that being the only thing kind of giving them any real hassle here.
Yeah, definitely could see that being the option here, because SCR, again, with the series that's been presented to them, they haven't had that much of a struggle, like you said. If it's anything, it could be the Wrecking Ball. But at the end of the day, that's just sort of a decision for them here. It's actually going to be the Baptiste. I don't necessarily see where this band's coming from, but SCR, I mean, at the end of the day, they don't have a lot of data to go off of, so ban the most standard thing, force it to your style. If you know you want to play Luke here, you don't give the other team an opportunity to play Baptiste. Think of this as standard and flat as we can.
Well, if we're expecting, so something did kind of come to my brain, is that a lot of these players in the Ascendants, the former Bliss squads, they were playing up in GM. They were playing a little bit higher up. So if there's a fear that maybe we're just going to turn around and lose on mechanics or something, Baptiste is one of those characters kind of similar to Kiriko, where you can just kind of win duels. You can kind of play for yourself and play to survive, and with Immortality Field, I don't hate it, but like you said, it doesn't necessarily need to be the target. No subs coming in here, so well, I guess that just means we're just gonna play this out the way it is. Mega Ascendants on match point. We'll have to see, because we've seen all kinds of insanity when the gates enter.
All kinds of insanity, all kinds of typing in the chat room here. But this could be the end here and now for Smile anyways, unless they can lock it in and get it together. But that is going to be a very large question mark indeed here. SCR Ascendants getting to sort of coast their way so far. We'll have to see how it's going here. Kings Row, always a standard, always a tried and true classic here. Feels like it's almost too classic, to the point where this map can get a little bit standard. There's only so many ways to crack the walnut, as it were, and when you've been cracking this walnut for almost 10 years, you can sort of figure it out.
The word that I would use professionally is it gets figured out, it's solved. The word I personally would use as someone who is not a Kings Row enjoyer after all this time is it gets stale. But we'll have to see, because SCR Ascendants coming out on I mean, that's kind of, I mean, this is the same comp they rolled out in on previous map. I see nothing wrong with it. The Echo from Marlin has looked very, very good coming in from that flex DPS spot. Smile anyways. All right, you know what? This looks like the closest thing to a comp out of them we've seen all day. Freya, this is one of those odd spots where Freya gets some play and some flexibility. So, you know what? Mega, maybe we finally decided we want to play some Overwatch.
Yeah, very strong maybe. The jury is certainly going to be still out on that one here. But like you said, it looks more standard when you have this defensive setup here. You have the Freya at range. You're going to have the Ramatra mirror as well here so that we are able to deal with a little bit of this back and forth here. That being said, we have to see what Smile anyways chooses to rotate and do on these defenses. It's a very aggressive teleport in to start things off here. Both of these teams now just sort of peeking at each other, doing a bit of the poke war here. In the meantime, trying to find these openings here. Eric, meanwhile, has rotated over to the high ground, has control of it. Caleb trying so desperately to jump up, but it's not going to be the case here. As now we are seeing the Echo, all the smoke is fired down onto Caleb, so low HP, and it's actually going to be followed up by Bonk to be able to take out the Freya from a distance here. Absolutely massive. Marlin now looking for some sticky bombs, potentially even a focusing beam onto another target here with both DPS missing. It seems like Smile anyways is going to sound the alarm for retreat.
Yeah, it was a slow push forward, and SCR Ascendance just played it correctly. They wore out most of Smile anyways abilities and just kind of played to the few angles they could get, trying to get that high ground for Eric and Marlin to control those high ground and Diesel skies. They'll get one without much of a contest here. So kudos to them for playing a slower, safer game. Professor Catboy barely manages to get out there, but the work is still to be done. Starty does have the nano up, built that very, very quickly with how much healing they've had to do. It probably goes on to Catboy, is my guess. Just get in. Maybe you try to give it to Fifi to get the rest of the Annihilation, but they have the advantage going into this fight. Some Ascendants can win it by pushing a little bit more aggressively.
Yeah, and already pushing aggressively here to make sure they're not held at the choke is crucial, but with Bonker taking a sleep on the point here, having to make sure Professor Catboy doesn't do too much here, goes in a little too deep, ends up meeting the Fist of Fury from the Ramatra, now a 4v4 situation, handed that nano boost over to Fifi, like you said here. Marlon's actually going to be able to live it thanks to the duplicate here. Now Marlon trying to charge forward for usage of the dupe Annihilation. Meanwhile, the other Annihilation from the other squad is going to come out behind. Those arms are crossed. Fifi so incredibly low. The Annihilation is going to run out, but Fifi will at least get to live for the time being here. While squad now missing the Lucios means this fight is going to be slow to a glacier pace here as he's just poking back and forth. But Bonker willing to charge forward here, asleep once again at the wheel. Has that Annihilation ready should he choose to proc it here. But in the meantime, we're now seeing a venture on the field from Professor Catboy as badly proc here. Going to be the first one on to Professor Catboy. Now looking for a little bit more in Ramatra in the backline. Finds it onto Fifi here. Marlin now the victim of the sleep here. But it's not going to matter as SCR is going to keep it moving.
And once again, SCR just hold out. They play their fight a little bit slower and safer and better, and they'll go ahead and do that. Smile anyways, now a full, half a comp change. They'll bring in the Zarya, Catboy onto the Venture, so this is going to be a lot of, a little bit more aggressive, allow Catboy to get in there, get value and build for Fifi, and Fifi has been strong in this tank role, so I do think Ascendants have to be a little bit cautious of how Fifi plays this. Once that high charge Zarya gets going, it's a big, big problem.
Massive problem indeed, just like Marlon's massive problem being caught in enemy territory there now. Caleb empowered, already firing off the overclock here, trying to look for pick, has to hide for being so incredibly low HP. So no more picks come from that one, but then the tail end one on Eric there. And the defense is able to stabilize the Smile anyways as SCR is back spawn.
A good stop from Smile anyways, now that they're on again, what we would have expected out of this team. Some barriers up on both sides, starting with another nano, means that this is going to be, again, a little bit of an interesting position. It goes on to, that's an aggressive sound barrier, I respect that.
The crouch-only gameplay has been acknowledged here, and that aggressive sound barrier is going to result in Varied actually paying for it with their own life here. So now Fifi missing as well. Beautiful sleep dart, but there's probably not going to be much follow-up unless the special Catboy can get a whole heck of a lot. It seems like the answer's already been a no to that one. So now you're just seeing the Ana run for the hills here trying to live.
Well, for now, Bonker gets a little bit more space here. 3 minutes 30 on the clock. 3 ultimates up for the Ascendants, including Sound Barrier that never got used. Take that 4. So, I mean, they have the advantage coming into this fight. They just need to use these sight lines and get a pick to close it out here.
Yeah, that's the hope to pick here, but Eric already finds one, and it's going to be followed up by the rest of the team thanks to the Kitsune rush here. So now, already barreling down towards a map completion is SCR Smile anyways. Nobody's going to respawn in time besides Stardy, and I don't think the Ana has a speed boost to get there in time. So with 3:11 in the bank, SCR complete King's Row.
You know, we were kind of looking at Smile anyways, who took the back half of that comp to kind of, that team to kind of come together, pick a comp that looked like something a bit more competitive and kind of put it together. Even in their competitive kind of a state, they didn't really have it together. They were just behind in the ult economy. It seemed like the team were kind of really wasn't together. So, you know, still, Smile anyways, even when it looks like they're kind of taking it a little bit more serious in some regards, or kind of are like, you know, just playing at full power, like, still couldn't quite live up to the Ascendants. So, full timer now, 3 minutes. Ascendants looking towards a full hold possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's nothing crazy here.
Nothing crazy indeed. This is standard for SCR here with their brawl defense and stuff like that. But now Smile anyways, you know, on the attack. Maybe he can try to make something happen with this aggressive comp, but do you think the ball's going to be able to get in with the rest of the team, or is it going to get isolated?
So it's going to be interesting because I feel like we're going to see similar problems to game 1 where Fifi will go in, kind of get left alone, maybe trying to disrupt, and maybe end up doing a little bit of work in the backline because they've shown that their ball is a pain in the butt. Like, they have done some work on the ball, but I think the question is what happens to Stardy in the backline, because everybody else on Smile anyways is fairly mobile and can kind of get picks or get value, but Stardy really has to play safe. And while the Ascendants are playing a brawl comp, it's really easy to just kind of run onto that Ana when they're not, when everybody's not paying attention to the ball.
Yeah, and again, that's the thing. Ball always demands attention here. Like you're seeing PP slamming into the backline already here. Gets the Kiri so incredibly low, but not able to officially convert. Big tail here now, trying to come back in. Forces Suzu out from Hickson. What PP incredibly low thanks to those Freyo crossbow bolt shots here, but ends up rolling into the arms of Adventure. Nowhere to roll is safe, as the rest of Smile anyway, sort of just a left PP high and dry there now, missing their Ana as well. Professor Catboy goes in a little too deep, and this attack has been stifled.
What's the thing about the ball comps, these kinds of dive comps, right? Is all you really need to do is make sure you focus out your targets, make sure your communication's good, and you can win these out easily while everybody's kind of playing a little bit independently. And the Ascendants have been very, very good about that. Like, just phenomenally done. You know, trying to get rid of the backliner. He kind of ate it. Now over to the Doomfist. Similar vibe with a little more survivability. I was gonna say with a little more survivability, but never mind. That's a bit less now that they're dead. Eric follows up with the second good one, and yeah, again, Ascendants just look very, very good here. Eric for a third, while Marlon just trying to go ahead and clean this up. Beautifully done from the Ascendants.
Yeah, I mean, Smile anyways seem, you know, like a very interesting position to find themselves in here. The crouch only Lucio is no more. Is very just going to take a swap over to the Moira here. Everybody acting as an independent agent once again here for Smile anyways, because surely that worked out so well before. We'll have to see on video.
They censored it. We heard that at the event.
Into the backline is, you know, certainly a practice.
Sorry with language.
Least, and now with some follow-up from the Doomfist on the high ground, you know, slowly Smile anyways is
I'm sorry.
do something with this game like that. Off the fight, looking for a little bit more here. The punch into the backline gets on the both supports, able to take out both of those targets as well here. Finishing off the Kiriko would certainly put the pin in this here, as Smile anyways is going to be unlocking point X.
Yeah, and again, a lot of it, like you said, the space made by the Moira and the Doomfist here allows Caleb to get up, get a pick with that rail when they have all the space in the world and everybody's got their heads turned. So, well, anyways, they've shown that they can make these kinds of dive comps worse. Like, they make it work. They're good for them. They'll even get the full capture here onto the capture point segment. 3 minutes now. The Ascendants have the ultimate up. It's just going to be how do they use them to kind of get the stop. Marlon opens it up quick.
Yeah. Then now you're seeing Marlon try to get a little bit more here. Finally connects those drill shots over to the Mercy here before Caleb takes Marlon out of the fight. Smile anyways now lacking a numbers advantage here. As Fifi still fighting in the front line here, continually getting empowered punches, allowing this Doomfist to sort of go crazy here. SCR definitely needs to monitor a little bit more. They're shooting onto that one.
Ooh,
A
wow.
punch to the face takes Eric out of the fight here as this payload's going to start moving forward.
Yeah, like I said, Fifi is very good on tank. Like, that punch right there kind of tells you everything you need, because I barely saw that. Fifi knew right away, but eventually gets punished out, and that's what you have to be afraid of if you are Smile anyways. You can't just rely on your 1 or 2 kind of carry players to run this through. They'll have 4 ultimates on the Ascendant side. Bonker gets a pick, and that means basically it's going to be low commitments for them to win this fight and get a stop. They're in a good spot. Buried sends the Coalescence somewhere in the distance with Eric. Okay.
Yeah, being able to get that that one pick here. Now trying to look for a little bit more here. As BB is pushed back here, you're seeing SCR amount of presence on the objective. Now trying to look for a little bit more, though, obviously, as what is happening? Why are we fighting all the way back here? So Buried is attempting to spawn camp Eric, I believe, and so far
yes.
I think he's succeeding. As the rest of the team is cleaning up the 4v4 forward. Yeah, so now the payload's moving again.
I mean, yeah. Again, Smile anyways, we kind of know that they are capable of this. There's a lot of talent in team on this, but the problem is just, again, we just need to see what happens. Marlon holding on to this this excavation, 3 ultimates with them, so they have a sound barrier to win the longer fight. They just need to make sure they focus and get a target here, because Fifi and Barry tend to go, like we've seen, go out of their way, and they are easily exploitable.
Yeah. Now trying to get some kills with the Tectonic Shock, tries to burrow forward here, but it's not going to be enough to convert on the kills here. But the rest of SCR seems to have done the job for the venture here. For the last time, Suzu as well here, that Doom Punch not able to connect, sent to the low ground. Now you're seeing the 2 tanks brawl it out, fist v fist here. Neither targeted at each other just yet. Another empowered punch trying to be built up for Fifi here, but it seems like it's just going to be running for the time being. And Smile anyways starting to run out of time.
Just say they have clutch moments, but they need to clutch up and now. They have only a Doomfist and a Valkyrie coming in here versus Milloware, who still has the sound barrier, no need, and with Marlon opening up a pick again already. I think we're kind of just done here, Lass.
Yeah, unless there's another punch up here, which obviously is possible when you've got Fifi going in, but just a little too deep, catches the drill to the face here. So now missing the star player, SCR able to take over and get all of these kills. Now, as we dip below a minute, Milo holding onto the sound barrier can be massive for when we enter final fight territory.
Yeah, as I say, the fact that they didn't need to commit that there is actually huge and big discipline on this. Very easy to send that in. Last couple seconds here, Eric going over to the Cassius. Had enough of the dive, had enough of the chaos. Gonna try to put some hands on it. Mr. Catboy searching for shots. There's no real angles for them to get that. So Smile anyways, they need to create the chaos if they're gonna try to hold this out. And they have to get Miller out of the way first. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, not going to happen indeed here, as now we're watching Mercy try to go for a very brave resurrect here, and it's not going to be the case. Now Fifi caught in the slow field as
Okay.
Well, you know, there's 0.1 seconds left, and I don't think anyone's. But yeah, we're just gonna.
Nope. Yeah,
we're just gonna unpause.
Yep.
You know. It was a match of Overwatch, and SCR Ascendants now get to find themselves into continuing on to live another day.
Yep, I mean, a well-deserved win for them. Nothing else really to be said about that. They played well across 3 maps, and their comps looked good. Their communication looked good. No notes. I mean, it's hard to say many notes here when you look at this scoreline: 2-0, 1-0, 3-1. I mean, Ascendants just looked very, very solid in their play, considering what they were up against. I don't see anything. I don't see anything really wrong with that. I see nothing to say here.
Yeah, it's absolutely just an interesting sort of setup, to say the least here. But yeah, just a quick 3-0 here, as we are. You know, again, this is just one match in the bucket, so we can get a quick look at our schedule. You can see everything that was happening. We had 2 EU matches. Both have Listen, we're working with what we got. The main people are all in Stockholm. We're working with what we got here, but both our EU matches for the day are done. But count them, not 1, not 2, but 4 NA matches to sink your teeth into later. So that's absolutely amazing here. So if any of those matches look super entertaining to you?
I will say the Boot Trip and Zodiacs game looks actually very phenomenal. I've seen both of those teams play in the Open Division, and that is going to be very, very good. If you want something that is going to be a good kind of a good, head-to-head kind of a rivals matchup, look at Subsun and Primordius Rising. Subsun has been kind of a dominant face in that tier. So, both games starting at the same time, just dual screen them, put them up. It's good stuff either way.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of CGL. We stream all these playoff games for better or for worse here. So with that being said, indeed here, SCR, again, props to the win. We'll see them continue on another day here in that lower bracket run, potentially making it all the way here. But that has been this broadcast. I've been Megalaz. That's been Soav. We've had Time to Light in the booth running the show. We've also had amazing the observers, if I could speak, Toxicinator and June, both absolutely amazing. We love all our CGL people from top to bottom. And with all that being said, we're going to leave. So bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Stay tuned for more.
Yo. Like...
Hello.
Did you like that rage quit?
Wait, we're on the official Costream?
Oh, yeah, okay. Wait, what interview questions you got? That's our CGL season wrapped, by the way. Yeah, it's done. Yeah, my dumbass team, they walked right. I thought we were walking left. For some reason, we're on double hitch gun. Nobody says anything, and then they just like walked me down. I had no care.
How do you feel now that your season is over with a blowout like that? I heard you tried your best.
Is it like liberating?
I'm slamming everyone out.
You're killing your teammates?
Nobody on that Smile Anyways roster is going to sleep tonight alive.
Okay. Any last words as you exit the season? To your opponents.
Yeah. Fuck Groctane. That guy's fucking terrible.
Okay.
Can't even generate us a map win.
What's on your team?
Well, that will be it for the official What Do I Broadcast official co-stream.